Do you ever stop and think, wow, that would make a great story? Same here. On Cat Stories, we pull together short tales from life that'll make you laugh, think, or just go, yep, been there. My name's Kathleen and let's get started. And for our next post, am I the idiot 25M for criticizing my friend 24M for acting in a self-centered manner? Hello all, as the title says, I 25M was recently on a small trip with an old friend 24M. In college, we have grown together but we're meeting after a few years. While the trip started well, a few things about him started putting me off. First of all, he started talking about how women should marry before 30 or else it's disappointing. I politely called him out and told him that there's no such need in the modern era. But next, he started talking about how he feels detached to all the mountains and lakes we are visiting, and feels indifferent to them. I got really irritated when even during our departure to a lake next day he said, "I'm so detached and done with these lakes really since yesterday. I don't find them different than others." I felt irritated because his repeated talk about not liking wherever we were going acted like a mood killer after a point, especially when I was expressing excitement about the upcoming day. I expressed my irritation to him immediately and said that it's not a good attitude when on a trip and that he should be considerate about other people's enthusiasm. During the same evening, another of his act made me express anger towards him. We were in a shared taxi, going up a hill. Me and him were in the middle section of the taxi and there were other tourists sitting in the rear section. Their exit was blocked by my trolley bag, since there wasn't any other place to keep the bag. But I wanted to remove the bag from there as soon as the trip ends, so that I clear the way for them in the right time. But it wasn't me sitting close to that bag. It was on my friend's side. So, I was keen to suggest him to make way for the tourists when the time comes. However, just the opposite thing happened. When we reached the hilltop, the door at my friend's side got stuck so he had to exit from my side after I exited. I immediately took his backpack and asked him to remove my trolley bag and clear the way for the other people too. But he took his sweet time by getting down slowly, worrying only his backpack, and taking a lot of time to get the backpack on his back, all while the other tourist remained stuck in the back of the car. Another person had to step in and clear the way for them. When I complained about it, he said that I'm overreacting now, and that he could have just said sorry to the people later and that could have saved us from coming off as bad people. After the end of the trip, I texted him to express my disapproval of his act, but he kept on saying that I'm overreacting, that he was planning on informing the people about how the door was stuck, but worrying about his own backpack caused delays and that. I see all this as still excuses to avoid acknowledging that such kind of acts may come off as selfish behavior, and although it's important to care about your stuff, it's also important to be thoughtful about others, especially when your bag is blocking their way. Am I the idiot for criticizing this act, or was it all fine for him to behave the way he behaved? And for our next post, am I the idiot for coming home late 3 times a week? I'm married with 2 kids, ages 3.5 and 1.5. I have a demanding full-time job, and my wife is a full-time mom, which was her choice. We've mostly aligned ourselves with traditional roles, me as the breadwinner and her managing the kids and the home. Recently, I had an opportunity to start a business that could improve our future, especially since we live in a high-cost-of-living area. We agreed that I would spend a few extra hours at the office 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, to work on getting the business up and running. To balance this, I've committed Tuesdays and Thursdays evenings to taking care of the kids while my wife gets time for herself doing yoga or meeting her friends or just rest and do nothing. On Saturdays, she also gets the full day to herself while I take the kids out, and Sundays are for me to focus on the business. This was the arrangement we both agreed to, and it worked well for a while. However, my wife has recently expressed dissatisfaction with this setup. She feels it's unfair that I get more time to myself and wants me to come home every day by 5 or 6 p.m. to help with the kids. I understand that her current role is more than a full-time job, and I deeply appreciate everything she does. But I also feel that I'm working overtime on that business not just for myself, but for our family's future, which she doesn't seem to take seriously and count it as time for myself. Business aside, I generally feel like this is an unreasonable expectation, given that I also come home exhausted and need some time to rest. While this may not seem fair for her in the short term, I think this tough period for her is primarily during the early years of our kids' childhood. Once the kids start school 2 years from now, she'll have 6 hours a day to herself for the next 1020 years. Meanwhile, I'll still be grinding at work until retirement, but I can't complain because she will have earned that rest. I think that's fair enough in the long run. So, am I the idiot? And for our next post, am I the idiot for going mad about my mother-in-law and her dog? So, I don't even know where to start. My mother-in-law is a single long-time divorced lady and her world revolves around her dog. Her old dog died and she was actually a okay person to be around again for a few months, but now she's had dog number 2 for close to a year and I'm going mad. Whenever she's there, no matter the occasion, everything has to revolve around her dog. We rented a place and told her dogs are not allowed here. It was hard wooden floors and an expensive place. Cue major drama, because if she couldn't bring her dog she couldn't go to her granddaughter's birthday. So we said okay, bring it but keep it in the cage. Yeah, that lasted for 5 minutes. Then we had to ruin the mood by reminding her the condition for her bringing the dog. Her response was carrying it around in her arms the entire time, talking shit about the landlord and letting her dog out on the porch. This is just how she operates, normal day to day. Now come Christmas I fudging lost it. We have a new house now, new furniture. She comes to stay with us. Of course we can't refuse her to bring the dog. Then she wouldn't even show up. So she has been staying with us for close to a week already. Dog is everywhere, on the couch, stealing our kids' toys. It's not his fault since the toys are laying around etc. And today, when Santa arrived she has the dog loose so he runs up to Santa me dressed up, barks, spins around, acts all crazy so my 2-year-old which were supposed to experience Santa for the first real time gets scared and just walks away. She doesn't even try to remove the dog. No, she records it, sends it to her entire family and thinks it's so funny that her dog loves seeing Santa for the first time. So I'm fuming and saying she ruined the moment, and she thinks I'm just an evil dog-hating lunatic. I assume I'm getting this silent treatment. My wife is unsure what to do. Her mother can't take any feedback. I want to ban her from bringing the dog to any future birthdays, Christmas and other important occasion. Maybe allow her to have her dog in a cage in the guest room only when we have guests etc., not the entire stay, but my wife says she won't come then, or she will and just ignore the rule altogether, forcing me to be the mean guy and say it in front of everyone. I'm just tired and genuinely feel like she's a narcissist. Am I the idiot? Any advice? And for our next post, am I the idiot because I don't want to spend Christmas with my sick family? I 25F want to visit my parents and my sister 15 for Christmas today. I live around 400 miles from them. Upon arrival, my dad told me that my sister has been sick the entire week with a fever and a bad cough. My mom also started to feel sick this morning. They know that I have health anxiety and also that I am still recovering from my last COVID infection and the bronchitis I caught a few weeks after COVID. However, they didn't think it necessary to tell me beforehand, because we didn't think that would be a problem. My grandma, who will come over on the 25th, lives with my aunt and uncle who currently have influenza. I panicked and asked my dad to drive me back to the train station and took the next train back home. I'm feeling terrible now because I feel like it was selfish of me to miss out on Christmas with my family, especially since I don't know if there will be another Christmas with my grandpa who is 86 and not in good health, but also, isn't it irresponsible to invite him over and possibly expose him to an infectious disease? I know they are angry and disappointed now. I am too, because I was looking forward to this so much and I really miss my family. I'm just so mad they didn't tell me before I made the trip, so I could get the chance to decide whether I wanted to take the risk for myself or not. Now I'll be spending Christmas alone for the first time in my life and I'm already feeling so depressed. Was I overreacting? Am I the idiot? And for our next post, am I the idiot for being ungrateful for my gifts? So, this happened today. Me 18F and my mom 47F were celebrating Christmas. I got her 5 useful and meaningful gifts while she got me about 15 gifts, ranging in all sizes from small to about hand-sized. I opened all of them over the day and every single one of them were either joke gifts like a singular cat sock or a children's cat clock or just regifted stuff from my room. For example, she gifted me an old stamp pad that I got when I was 2 that doesn't even work anymore, as well as 2 Christmas shirts that I bought last year. This continued until I opened every single gift. It was small, had Temu packaging on the joke gifts, and everything else was like I said from my room. I had to mention the Temu part because we do not support things like that, and she always says she's strictly against it and we're not in the position where we need to use it. Now, I was upset and vocalized that because it's my first Christmas where I actually got the money to get my mom proper and meaningful gifts, a Swarovski figure for her collection, a big handmade painting amongst other things, and she got me my own stuff. She got mad and said that I'm an ungrateful brat that doesn't appreciate the spirit and that I can't take a joke. But this hasn't been the first time she pulled something like this. For my 18th birthday she gave me a paper that said 500, and when I asked her a month later if I could get that money put in my bank account, she said no, she doesn't feel like I'm worth that gift, so in the end I got nothing. I feel so stupid for even expecting anything, but I'm hurt that she's been talking about how much she got me nonstop, and now I'm sitting here with essentially nothing. So please be honest and tell me if I'm the idiot here. Addition: no, my mom does not struggle with money. She went on multiple long holidays this year, booked too many for next year, and got her boyfriend a 400 diving clock. That's all for now. If you enjoyed the stories, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Got a story to share? Drop it in the comments. I'm always up for reading them. Until next time, it's Kat. Goodbye.